Okay, so relatively small group for the day shift meeting. We're gonna go ahead and record this and then post it later for everyone else's viewing pleasure. There'll be another meeting tonight, just as a FYI. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into it. Thank you all for joining me for the not February, but March meeting. Start off with a brief reflection. This is a quote from Winston Churchill. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Now, I thought that was a pretty good quote to start us off for our meeting. Agenda topics, we have a few standing items that we go over every month. We'll briefly touch on some of these, some exciting updates to talk about today as well. RT equipment, some updates regarding masking, particularly as it pertains to COVID. Some education from our mega codes in labor and delivery to opportunities for reimbursement. We'll touch on a major transition that's happening, should happen the beginning of next month. We are removing the IVOS system of reporting and moving to a new application called IRIS. So we'll go into a little detail with that. Some hand hygiene topics, just some reiteration. Team and self-scheduling, another standing topic we'll go over. Unit-based practice council, I don't believe we have either Carrie or Danielle on, but I can speak to what they have been working on in the background. We'll talk about employee satisfaction, scanning scores, the My Wellness app. The EAP and LIRA are actually not in the slide deck, but we can go over that as well. Kudos, we'll pick someone from the Kudo board today, and then open forum and questions. Some pretty significant announcements. We finally, as of today, got access back to the fourth floor. This has been quite a journey. It has been ongoing now, as you guys all know, for several years. Most recently, it has come to kind of a crescendo with us getting new flooring and new baseboards up there. It actually looks a lot better, and I couldn't be happier with the work that's been performed. Since we've had this opened just a few hours today, with the help of Stephanie, Emily, Joanna, and Lisa, we've been able to vacate all the equipment that had previously been housed in the Tranquility Room and in 260. So all those pieces of equipment are now upstairs. We still maintain a vent, a BiPAP, and a high flow in the ED, and we still have those pieces of equipment in ICU as well. So very exciting news. I couldn't be happier with the outcome. It's been a long time coming. So the next step obviously will be the RT department. So you guys have probably heard that there's talks about us moving back again to the former ICU conference room. Those rumors are true. The flooring contractors just finished their top coat of the floor. They ripped out the carpet that was there previously. They have laid down some epoxy and put in some new baseboards. It's looking really, really sharp. It needs a day to kind of cure, and we'll be able to get, well, I'll start fixing up the new RT department as of tomorrow. So we're looking for a grand opening probably sometime midweek next week. So again, super exciting news. and will actually have a forever home, which is nice. Now, that's a lot of information, and I usually wait for questions at the end, but I'll open it up. Are there any questions, concerns, or comments with anything that I just said? Pretty straightforward. Okay. All right. I'll keep going then. Masking. So this is another big one. April 3rd, according to the California Department of Public Health, they are allowing us to stop the mandatory masking in healthcare settings due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So, this is another thing that's been a long time coming. I couldn't be happier. And I know it's super annoying that we're still doing it, but we're nearly there. And as of next Monday, we can come in mask free. That is, of course, with a couple of caveats. That being the flu season is still in full effect. That is going to go into effect until the end of April. So for staff members who have declined the flu vaccination for this season, will still have to maintain masking in the hospital until the end of April. If this applies to you, you'll be contacted by employee health and HR and likely myself. But for everybody else, masks come off finally next Monday. So very exciting news. Education. This is the quarterly education, just an update reminder for you guys. NRP mega codes coming up in the month of May. We have a sign-in sheet in the department already. If you haven't signed up, please do so as soon as possible, and we'll get through this next quarter of NRP skills. So clinical practice guidelines for chest pain and stroke. There's a new icon on your WOWs. It looks like a little rocket ship. Basically, if you click on that, it'll give you some resources and references for stroke and chest pain. As it pertains to respiratory therapy, there's not a whole lot besides just general FYIs. Kind of the inspiration or the push for this was because we are a chest pain center. And you guys likely know from the Tiger Connect that we've had a JCAHO recertification this week for our chest pain program, which we passed with flying colors. This is essentially just a best practice that we have this information immediately available to us should we need it. And it's there just as a reference. So if you see this icon on the WOWs, that is what it is for. This is something that has come from facilities. It was in your emails. If you haven't had a chance to take a look, you're probably aware several years ago, security had deployed these red panic buttons throughout the hospital. Essentially, they were a quiet alarm to notify security that there was something wrong and that they were urgently needed at any particular space in the hospital. It's come to their attention that there are more than a few of these red buttons that no longer work and they don't go anywhere. Because of that, they are in the process of installing new buttons. So if you see these new buttons in places where the red buttons used to be, that's what they're there for. Obviously, you can still go about calling the operator, overhead paging for a code gray if you're able to. If you're not able to, obviously the new Aero Scout panic buttons. So take a look out for those. And that is the same. Here is another couple of things that came out in your emails. This is reduced tuition that is offered through the partnership of Common Spirit Dignity Health. If you're looking to move your career forward, if you're looking to move your educational career forward, there are some opportunities for some discounted programs both through Walden University and Chamberlain College. And then with that said, this came out recently too. We have some money, some scholarship money through the foundation that's available. This should be in your email if it applies to you. This particularly is for taking college classes. This isn't necessarily for completion of certifications, not necessarily like ACLS, BLS, stuff like that. This is if you're looking to start college or already enrolled and looking for some financial help. So if this pertains to you, or as it says, immediate family members, spouse, children, take a look at that. It is in your email. So the reporting, typically we've used the IVOS system, which has been extremely clunky. We've had this for years, going back to, if I remember, back in CHW days, we've used IVOS. Common or Catholic Health Initiatives used Iris Reporter. That was their contracted application for hospital reporting. And Common Spirit now is adopting that through all hospitals. So we are transitioning from IVOS to Iris. It is a bit more intuitive than, or a lot more actually intuitive than our IVOS system. You can see when you open the icon, which will look like this on your WOW. Once you hit that button, it'll open up this app and you can just click to start whatever pertains to the event that you are reporting, fall, medication, lab, and it'll have a pretty intuitive step-by-step format for what information it requires you to put in, like patient name, like exact location, some details regarding what happened. And hopefully this will alleviate some of the headache that was associated with reporting before with IVOS, and ultimately encourage more reporting as appropriate. So as this rolls out, if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to go through it with you. But take a look out for this. They should be coming to our desktops soon. I believe the rollout is the beginning of next month. Hand hygiene, just update. We've gone over this the last couple of months. Just remember to use appropriate hand hygiene techniques. Gel in and out, obviously, when you go into a patient room. If you have someone that's on contact precautions, C. diff particularly, you want to use soap and water, obviously protecting yourself and your other patients. As an update to this, our most recent hand hygiene audit, and what I mean by that is there are observers that check and see whether or not appropriate hand hygiene is being conducted in the different wards in the hospital on days and nights. Our most recent audit has come back like 100%. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. And again, it's not just for your own health. It's obviously for the patients that we're caring for. Team self-scheduling, just briefly touching on this. We are nearly completely transitioned over to the team self-scheduling model. More and more people are utilizing that as a means of communicating the days that they would like to have off and the days that they're available to work, and putting in PTO requests for months in advance. It's been super helpful, and it so far has been working. We still have the posted schedules in the department. We'll continue to have that probably for another cycle, and then have printed schedules that report off of team itself. But so far, the team self-scheduling schedule, I've been entering in manually, and it has mirrored what we have posted in the department. So, so far, so good. Very few, if any, kinks at this point. So that's good. Unit-based practice council. I saw Danielle jumped on the line. If you want to mention what you've been working on, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, can you hear me or can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Um, Not a ton right now because we're just kind of editing what we were working on before on the equipment and the oxygen needs to show the nurses. We've been working with David Gerner on how to educate them once we have all those laminated and approved and everything. We are going to make them little badge buddies on the about the oxygen and how high you can go on each one, or low. And then I think the other part was just we were talking about working on that flyer with you, Brian, for handing out to patients about respiratory therapy. And then our next little outing, I think Carrie was trying to put together the mud run. And I believe there was one other thing that they were talking about doing. I can't remember at the top of my head right now, but the mud run was what she was working on. If anybody's interested in doing that or just coming and cheering everyone on, she's going to be putting that together and sending something out again.
I can't wait. I
Mhm.
I understand Emily was the first one to be extremely excited about this mud run, so I can't wait.
Yes, Emily and I can't wait to cheer you guys on.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you very much. And yeah, I have been collaborating with you guys. Look forward to doing some more and sending these different pamphlets and badge buddies out to get professionally done through our Xerox partners. So yeah, very solid work to you and Carrie. Thank you for what you're doing. So moving forward, employee satisfaction. This is something that we touch on every month, kind of looking at where opportunities lie in making the department even better for you. Keeping in mind that we are actually coming to the employee satisfaction survey season, should be in June. So it's coming up pretty quickly. The feedback, more or less, that I've gotten thus far has been good, and hopefully the department is running in a manner which you feel, you guys collectively feel good about. If there's ever anything that comes up, please bring it to my attention, and I'll absolutely do everything in my power to make it better for you. So with that said, the opportunity that I had showcased for you guys to think of last meeting was one of the questions that I scored low on, and this was a diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging. The question was, all employees have equal opportunity for promotion regardless of their background. This is something that was scored low. I would be I think a fair statement to say that I don't have really much control over hiring generally. But if you guys on the call have any suggestions or any comments at all regarding this question, I'd be happy to hear them. Don't all speak at once. So admittedly, this is a difficult one. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what I can say or do or communicate with you guys to kind of improve the scores in this particular metric. I can tell you that Dignity Health as an organization recently had been noted to be the most diverse, or having the most diverse staff of all the major healthcare organizations in the nation. So diversity is something that's very important to Dignity Health and CommonSpirit at large. And it would seem, you know, regardless of what your background is, there's always the opportunity for advancement. There's certainly always the opportunity for employment opportunities. So again, kind of a difficult question to kind of tackle, but if anybody would like to meet with me offline or send me a text where they think about this, I definitely appreciate it. For April, patient safety climate, this is something that you don't necessarily need to answer today, but something to think about for next time. This was another question that got scored relatively low. It was, in this work setting, it is difficult to discuss errors. So something to mull over for April. One of the hanging topics that we always talk about is scanning scores. Obviously, this is a patient safety issue, very important. Generally, you guys are doing a fantastic job. If there's any room for improvement, I specifically talk to individuals about what their barriers are, and that tends to work great. Overall, you guys are doing a fantastic job, so I would encourage you just to keep it up. And my wellness. Again, another hanging topic. This is the program that was launched last year by Common Spirit. Essentially, it is where you self-report good behavior, whether or not that's walking, sleeping enough hours, exercising, reading a book, meditating. All of these different tasks that you self-report are associated with some points. These points then can be turned in for gift cards. One of the more popular gift cards is the Amazon gift card. So essentially it is kind of free money, if you will, and at the same time incentivizing, you know, good behavior. If you haven't signed up for the My Wellness app yet, I would encourage you to consider it. Kudos. So thank you all for adding to the kudo board this month. It was chock full. I noted down all the kudos that were listed up there, and we'll pick one as a winner for a cafeteria gift card, which, by the way, cafeteria gift card value has gone up from $5 to $8.50. So that's not nothing. So with all that, kudos for the month of March goes to Danielle and Carrie. This is thank you for setting up a department activity from Danielle. So Danielle and Carrie, you can look forward to seeing those gift cards in your mailboxes soon. Before we get into the open forum and questions, I wanted to touch on something that kind of impacts all of us. You guys may or may not know that our department director, Sandy, has recently been reallocated to additional hospitals. So what does that mean? You guys are probably well aware that there are some reorganization, structural organizations that are changing and being enacted throughout the region and throughout the company. Because of this, there are certain positions that are being consolidated and certain positions that are being expanded. Particularly with Sandy, her role has expanded to encompass an additional hospital. So Sandy now, her office has moved off site over to Railsback, and she will be in charge, or she'll rather be the director of laboratory services over at Mercy General Hospital and Woodland Memorial Hospital. She's still going to maintain the directorship of respiratory therapy, so I'll still be reporting to her. But what this will mean is her time will be split up between the facilities. It'll be about 20% here remaining over at Woodland and about 80% now over at Mercy General. This is a pretty significant change for those of you that have kind of went down into the lab and said hello to her. She is now going to be in a different location, and she's just not going to be around as much as she was before. She certainly has the bandwidth to take on these multiple locations, and she's certainly still in collaborating with me daily. So just so that you guys are aware, that is one of the changes that has come about. Her first day over at Mercy General will be this coming Monday, April the 3rd. So very interesting times, but interesting times is what respiratory therapy seems to thrive on here at Woodland. And just like the rest of the instances and events that have happened, we have pulled together, pulled through, and have made the best of it. And I would anticipate that this will be no different. So it's quite a bit that to talk about, or quite a bit of information this month. I'll open the floor to you guys for any questions, comments, or concerns.
Sorry, I've got nothing.
Okay.
Just had to say something. It was so quiet. But
okay. All right. Thanks, Mason. Anybody else? Kind of a little bit of bombshell news. I know Sandy, her her training education primarily lends itself to the laboratory services, obviously. But she is our director, and this is an impact. So that's if there's anything that you guys need or anything that I can do for you, I obviously she's still available, she's still around, and I'm still communicating with her. So, everybody else okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that said, keep a lookout in the huddles and keep a lookout in the Tiger Connect forum with regards to our move to the former ICU conference room. We should be getting some new office furniture, having all of the equipment moved sometime by midweek next week. And of note, we are actually getting new lockers. So for any of you that keep materials in your lockers now, be sure to try to empty those out over the course of the next couple of weeks. I'll reach out to some individuals that have locks on their lockers just to let them know as soon as we get the new lockers installed up on the 4th floor that you'll be assigned or can pick whichever lockers that you want, and we'll be disposing of the ones that we have currently. But other than that, that is it. Thank you very much for joining me and for your time for the March RT department meeting.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Brian.
Take it easy, guys.